At the right elbow, bounce past John. A hot step, and he'll rock the rim as well. On jab steps, he'll go to work on Nate Jones. Got by him. Oh, goodness! The right. Look at the quick first step and a high riser to throw it down. And just like that, Nolan Smith wants to talk it over.
What's going on, dudes and dudettes? So, yes, my buddy, my homie Grayson Allen, ex-Duke player, obviously with the Bucks right now, ended up getting a 2-year extension on his rookie deal for $20 million. It's really cool because obviously he hasn't really played a regular season game for them and they believe in him that much. So definitely happy about that. Hopefully continued success for him. Not a championship because I want the Lakers to, but yes, congrats to him. Then also another ex-Duke player, Wendell Carter Jr., power forward, who got traded from Chicago to Orlando last year. Ended up getting an extension as well before he played a regular season game for them. His is obviously a little bit more because he was picked higher in the first round. So pretty obvious, but yeah, once again, just a great thing that they believe in him, or they're going to give him a chance. So definitely happy about that. And can't wait to see them play starting tonight. It's opening night tonight. So hopefully we'll get to see them at some point this week. Then yes, Lakers have made a bunch of roster changes and moves. To start with, Wayne Ellington, guy who most likely be coming off the bench for them, a shooter. Looks like he ended up hurting his hamstring. So once again, another player that's going to be out for the Lakers, at least the first couple games that we know of. Hopefully it's nothing too long, but we'll have to wait and see about that. Then they actually ended up adding a couple guys. Avery Bradley, they actually brought back from 2 seasons ago. I can't say 2 years ago because it's not 2 years. But yes, from the championship team, who he's actually the one player that didn't go into the bubble for the Lakers. And he's still an NBA champion because he was on the Lakers. But yeah, he's back. He didn't make Golden State's roster. And we'll see what he could do for the Lakers. He's, already knows the system. So that's pretty much why the Lakers picked him up, I'm sure. Then there's also a younger guy, center, in Huff. He's from University of Virginia. That's where I remember him from. I remember him being more of like a defensive specialist. So we'll see what he can do. I don't know if he can shoot the ball. Maybe that's why they have him, because I thought they weren't going to carry any more centers. But I guess we'll have to see what happens. I doubt we're going to see him play tonight when the Lakers play Golden State. But it should be a very fun and interesting game overall. Then, yes, a lot of Duke players have been selected for like a couple first team, second teams for the ACC. Duke was actually picked to go number 1 in the ACC to win it all, which is cool. Not that surprising since they have a very talented team, but also their talented freshman Paolo Banchero, who's looking like a top 5 guy already. Looks like he was picked as the freshman of the year. And also it was kind of funny that another freshman, Trevor Keels, was actually picked number 2. I'm pretty sure AJ Griffin would have been on the second part or even the top part of that list as well, but he is starting off with an injury right now, but I'll get to him a little bit later. Then another couple players that made teams, Wendell Moore Jr. and Mark Williams. A couple guys have been there for a couple years already, made the second team in the ACC. So, Banchero is also named like freshman of the year, player of the year as well for the ACC. So he's looking like a guy with a lot of promise and talent. So hopefully he will be able to bring that to Duke this year in Coach K's final year. And speaking of AJ Griffin, yes, during the countdown to crazy or Midnight Madness, whatever it was the other day for Duke, he looked pretty healthy. Usually they have player intros. They introduce the new players to the community, and he was kind of dancing, moving around a bit with his supposedly injured knee. So he could be ready for the start of the season, but pretty sure they're going to keep him out at least that first game, which looks like a pretty easy cakewalk. But maybe when Duke has to play Kentucky, they'll bring him out there. So hoping for that. He looks like a pretty talented guy. Then Amon-Ra St. Brown, the rookie wide receiver for Detroit, who is an ex-USC player. They're considering him from that website as a 4th round steal as of right now. Even though I went back and checked his stats, it's they're kind of low for a rookie who's considered a breakout. He only has 24 receptions and 204 yards on the year. A lot of like the top, more talented players get that in definitely 2 games and have at least a touchdown, which he does not have yet. But I always thought he was going to be a steal either way. He can run block as well for you at the wide receiver position, can play outside, inside in the slot, could come out like a run around and the quarterback can hand it off to him like on a running play for a wide receiver. So very versatile. So yeah, Detroit, they just had a bunch of bad luck. I think last week was the first game where they really weren't as close points wise, but every game this year they've lost pretty close games and it just sucks, but at least they know they got a good coach and infrastructure there. They just got to stay positive. So we'll keep a lookout for that. Then yes, some weird ass news about Vanessa Bryant and LA County and all this stuff, where they're saying that they believe they want her to take a psychiatric exam, and even the families of the people who were involved in the plane crash, because I guess this whole thing was going because based off the fact that they were traumatized by the fact that the fire people or police people, whoever it was that took the pictures of the dead bodies, released them to other places or released them online. They want them to show proof of a psychiatric exam that either that was the reason why they're doing why they are suing the county or whatever, or it was it because the plane crash itself is why they were traumatized and everything. So it's very like thin and like seriously looking for such a small bit of a difference. But to me, either way, you'd be traumatized, and the fact that, you know, somebody did release something like that just because someone was a famous celebrity is even worse and could cause even more trauma. Yeah, there was already trauma, but the trauma caused by that, sending the picture, is probably outweighs more than the other, in my opinion. But yeah, it's just a crazy thing that might be happening, even though she won recently her court case. But I don't know, they might have to end up being back in court again, which is crazy. But like I say, we'll wait and see. Just crazy. Then a lot of Duke players in the NBA were released all at once the teams got cut down. There's a lot of guys, at least 7 guys. Let me go through them real quick. So Quinn Cook, yes, ex-Laker, but he was with the Portland Trailblazers. He got released. That sucks. And then Javin DeLaurier, I talked about him recently, signing with the Bucks and Grayson Allen, but he got released as well. Then Marquise Bolden, who was a center I always had trouble with, but he was recently released by the Jazz as well, so we'll see where he goes. Then Harry Giles III, who some may have considered him while in high school as a junior, like the next generational type of guy, even better than Anthony Davis because of how great he was offensively, but so many ACL injuries and all this stuff kept him out from progressing, and he really is not the same player, but he's been able to stay on some teams like Sacramento and Portland, but wasn't able to make this team, which sucks. Then Cassius Stanley, another guy who I think just athletically you have to keep on your team. As long as he ends up getting a 3-point shot or a consistent shot out somewhere, he could definitely be a guy to help you out defensively and anything like that. But for some reason he got let go by Detroit. Then Matthew Hurt, who was with Houston, but I guess he went to Memphis to try to make the team, but got released there as well. Sucks for him. Then another popular guy who also has too many freaking ACL injuries and knee injuries in his career, Jabari Parker, was also released by the Boston Celtics. But Celtics suck, remember? So that's why they're horrible people. But yes, overall, pretty tough. But I think they said in another article that there's at least 21 players from Duke in the NBA, which is it's a pretty nice percentage. I think it was higher last year, and a lot of these guys could get on teams again. Other guys as well who have not been signed yet. Even Kyrie Irving, I don't know if they counted him as 21 because he's not playing right now because the whole vaccination thing. But we'll look to see what opening night brings us tonight. Lakers against Golden State. Should be a fun matchup. I did also do a fantasy basketball team yesterday. Fantasy basketball is a lot harder because you have to pay more attention, but luckily there's a button you can push that says not only to start everybody that's available today, but also for the week, so you don't have to worry about it unless you get injuries. And when you take that guy off, then it messes up that whole like thing that it just did to start everybody, so you have to like restart until you add someone else new. But hopefully none of that happens to my team. I ended up getting Kevin Durant as my first pick, which is pretty cool. We'll see how that goes. First time I ever had him on my team. Yeah, good luck to the Lakers today. Did not talk Chargers because they got blown out by the Ravens, so crappy for them. I think they finally got brought down back to earth, which is good. So hopefully they'll be more focused, and they're on a bye week this week, so they definitely got enough time to think about, I forget who they play. Not really think about it right now. Kind of focus on USC at Notre Dame this week, so it should be fun at Notre Dame this Saturday, so definitely looking forward to that. Hopefully they get the victory, never know. So yeah, thanks for watching, people. Like and subscribe, comment down below. Let me know what y'all think. Have a great rest of your day. Bye. Sweet dreams.